Hello everybody, vanburman here, and welcome to the vanburman podcast. Today I want to talk about games. Well, that won't surprise you, but I actually want to talk about zombie games today. Zombie games are, I don't know, they're definitely up there with, I know they're not a genre of game, but a style of game. And I just wanted to talk about well, the main reason I wanted to talk about it is because there's quite a few that are coming out in a relatively short period of time, I suppose. As you probably will be aware by now, there's a whole zombie sandbox, don't want to say genre, but style of game coming in, that's coming a lot more into fruition. So we have Infestation, or was a Daisy. We have 7 Days to Die. That's what it's called. There's another one on Steam Greenlight that I can't remember its name, but yeah, there's that one. There's the one that's on Xbox, which isn't out on PC yet, which is State of Decay. Maybe not quite sandboxy, that one, but similar things. So, and obviously there's Rust, which I believe has got zombies in. Can't really remember, but yeah, there's basically a lot of them coming out, and quite frankly, I'm not surprised. I mean, it seemed to really kick off with Daisy for Arma 2. Obviously, the downloadable mod for it, free as well, and of course, which has led to the development of the standalone version of it, which is using it's not the Arma 3 engine. I was told, or I heard at least, that it was. But apparently it's like a 2.5 version engine, so in between 2 and 3. So yeah, that's all quite interesting, I suppose. But obviously that is not out yet, and we have other games which are coming out or been released. So we have Infestation that's already been released, and we have State of Decay, which has already been released, and we now have 7 Days to Die, which is it finished? Just finished its Kickstarter campaign, and they now have their private servers up and running. So yeah, there's stuff that's come out before the Daisy standalone, despite the fact that the Daisy mod was the first one really to sort of kickstart it. And of course, you've got Warzy or Infestation jumping on the bandwagon from Daisy and actually bringing out a full game with many glitches and bugs and all the rest that goes with it. But even so, it wasn't. It's not a bad idea from business sense. Maybe they marketed their name a bit too close to Daisy, and it wasn't finished or polished or anything even remotely to what a full release game should be like. But they got it out there quickly, because this was always going to happen. There was always going to be these other games which are coming out. I haven't really had a chance to play any of the other ones. I do want to play State of Decay. Some people on Xbox that I know have played it, and they're bored of it. So maybe it doesn't have quite as the longevity as maybe, I don't know, because I played Infestation for quite a while, so maybe it doesn't have the same sort of lifespan as that. But nevertheless, it's still good, from what I've gathered. And I believe the PC version, I'm not sure if the Xbox version has this, but the PC version is going to have a multiplayer aspect as well, so that will be an interesting one, and will definitely be worth playing. It's definitely something I personally want to play. So the fact that the main crux of the point I wanted to make is I don't want to moan about Daisy too much, because I haven't actually played the mod, but they have taken a heck of a long time to bring the game out. Now, when the game comes out, it's a game changer. I mean, a proper game changer, and it is the only real proper zombie. It's not really sandbox, but open world game. Then it will be pretty good, and it will go to the top of the pile, is what I'm trying to say, of the zombie games at the minute. But then, of course, we've heard that Left 4 Dead 3 is apparently I've seen very little proof. There is proof, but Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But yes, until it's been announced, I don't believe it. But there is a possibility, of course, of Left 4 Dead 3, but then there's always been a possibility of it. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a different spin on it, but nevertheless, it's still a very, very good zombie game. So, yeah, I think DayZ do have their work cut out. They're going to have to bring out something really, really good. And we have a lot of other competitors. They do have a lot of other competitors, even ones which I haven't mentioned. Some of which you can find on Steam Greenlight. And you pretty much find a new one sort of like every month on Kickstarter. So, yeah. But I'm quite curious to see which ones will make it through and which ones will die off. I already have a bit of an opinion on one or two that will die off, just because they haven't got anything over any of the other ones. There's nothing special about them. 7 Days to Die one looks very... It looks like it might have a chance, but that's more because they've created a creative aspect to it. So players will be able to build houses and build their own maps. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I presume they'll be able to choose the zombie placements as well, but that seems a bit pointless in a sense. Maybe there should be the zombie spawn points, and then it should be random, the amount of zombies, etc. I don't know, but that side of things does look like it would be pretty fun. In fairness, build your own maps and then play it with people. I'm just worried how much they'll be limited. As in, do I have to build like a huge map in order to get any enjoyment out of it? Or if I just build a small area, am I then just contained in that small area? So these are things which I haven't really looked at too much, but from what I gather, the maps will apparently be able to be shared with other members of the community, which is great. Which is what that sort of thing needs. If you're going to go for that USP of having that aspect on it, then that's brilliant, and it will work. Because these zombie games have got to have some way of standing out. And, for all the bad press that Infestation's got, it's hit quite a few of the right buttons. Just not enough of them quick enough. This is the big problem with that game. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed playing it. And I don't really think I'd go back to it. Mainly because I think there's too much competition out there that there is obviously going to be something which is just going to come and blow it away. And I think that's really an inevitability anyway, with any sort of game that comes out that is the first one to market. The first one to actually rake in the money as well. And of course some people lose their appetite for it after that first game. Especially when it's a little bit disappointing. But of course we have other games which might be able to catch people's imagination. I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping that one of them will be a big success. The minute my money's probably on DayZ, purely because I think it's going to be the one that has the most balance to it. It's going to have the balance of nice looking graphics and being accessible and using a decent engine as well. So obviously they'll configure it. They'll configure the ARM engine to their own, to what they need. So that side of things, I think it will. I'm just not sure whether that game will be too serious. I mean, I like gritty, but maybe it will be a bit too serious. I don't know. Depends how they implement different stuff as well. But no, definitely it looks like it could be a winner. Also, I'm quite intrigued to see how State of Decay is going to work in multiplayer. There's some aspects about that which I like and some which I don't like. It seems to be a sort of like halfway house between your Left 4 Dead and your DayZ or your WarZ, whichever way you want to look at it. So, maybe one of those two at the minute for me. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the smaller independent ones have a chance to fill that third spot, I think, but I don't know. I can't possibly guess which one's going to get the backing, or which one. I can't even tell you which one you should go and buy, because it's just so difficult. There's going to be some which are going to drop out in a few months, even ones that have been funded. I think they're going to have to steer it off in a different direction, just to give themselves a unique point to their game. But I don't know. Overall, it is looking good for the zombie game genre. definitely will have something to blow Infestation out the water, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's run its course and it's done what it set out to do, and it has created a lot more interest in it, in the zombie survival genre, which is not a bad. It's a very good genre, and it is one which probably should have been explored before now. But then again, with all the advancements, I think it can be done well now, and it's just up to someone to take it by storm. I don't think Infestation will, though. Personally, I think there's too many issues there with that. I think a totally different company would have to come out and do it in order for it to be a recognised success. But just my opinion, I could be wrong, of course. Infestation might turn out to be the greatest ever zombie survival game. That's a thought. Anyway, I've rambled on far too much now about zombie games, but I just thought you want to know my opinion on it and how I think it's going to go. But it's definitely the next 18 months to 2 years are going to be very interesting in that spectrum. And I do believe that we'll see the War Z die out when there's a proper competitor out in the market. I said War Z, didn't I? Not DayZ. Infestation will die out. That's what I meant to say. I'm so bad at these. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you do have any topics or suggestions for me to talk about in another video, please do leave them in the comment box below, and I'll have a look at them and decide if they're something I want to talk about. I've had someone asking if I'm making the podcast downloadable, and I could, but I'm not sure people really need them to be downloadable. However, if you're one of these crazy people that does want my podcast being downloadable so you can stick it on your computer or MP3 player or whatever it is you choose to listen to podcasts on, then let me know, and I will actually create some downloadable files for them, and I will stick them all in one place so you can go and easily download them. They'll be, I don't know where I'll put them yet. Probably on my webpage. Probably stick them on there under a tab, and yeah, you'll be able to download them. And I'll also stick them up on Twitter and Facebook as well, if people want that. So if you got this far and you do want the downloadable podcasts, let me know and I will make them available. I'm not going to do it if no one wants them. I think the guy who was asking was a bit more sort of curious as to if they were, rather than he actually wanted them. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.